I've been wanting to make a setup video for a really long time. Ever since I got my computer through the pandemic, um, I've thought about making this video and I just never got around to it because basically I'm lazy. So I'm going to go around and show everything off that I got. Let's start over here at this setup where I keep most of my computer gear. Right here I have my main computer. It has an RTX 3070, 32 gigs of RAM, and a Ryzen 5 3600X. And I have three monitors. The main one in the middle is 144 Hertz. And then down here underneath my desk is where I keep the server. It has a Ryzen 7 5700X and 64 gigs of RAM and about 23 terabytes of raw storage. To the left of my computer, I have my Quest 1. I got this back in 2019, and I played Beat Saber on it for a good couple of years until I moved over to my Quest 2 when that one started to have tracking issues. I use my Arctic 7. These are my only microphone when I'm playing games. And then I have my school iPad. It's an iPad Air Gen 4, and I use that for school, obviously. And then I have my FLSun Q5. This is my 3D printer. I have some multicolor RGB filament in there right now, but this one is modded with a Big Tree Tech SKR Pico, and it is running also a new hot end as well as Clipper, which is running on my virtual machines in my server. Before we get to the media center, I wanted to look at all my tools. I got a bunch of tape. My whole room is held together with double-sided tape. Then I have some 3D printed bit holders as well as some glue stick holders that I modeled up. And then right here taped is a Logitech C270. There's also another one right here. I use these for AI failure detection. And then I have a couple rolls of filament because I ran out of space in my drawer, some Xbox games, and some Elmer's spray on. Now we're at the media center. Right here I have an Xbox One S. I got this a really long time ago for Christmas, and it's still holding up strong. This is my Logitech Harmony Hub. I just recently got this. It's for my remote over by my bed. Got a big 3D printed benchy. This is Shinji. And then right here, I'm working on a DIY monitor light bar. I have a MOSFET in here that's wired up to this 5 volt to 12 volt converter, and that's plugged into an ESP so I can turn it on and off with Home Assistant. And there's a soundbar right there, and also behind the TV, there is some Ambilight LEDs that I wired up with Hyperion. Wiring behind here is not pretty, so in order to get that Ambilight working, I had to get an HDMI splitter. One of them runs over to the TV, and then one of them runs over to my server, which runs Hyperion. And then there's a 5-port Ethernet switch that runs everything over in this area of the room. There's an HDMI switch that is actually using a infrared emitter that's running ESP Home, and that switches my inputs when I press a button on Home Assistant. And then there's the 5 volt power supply for the lights behind the TV. And then in this drawer right here, there's just a really large amount of filament next to my power monitoring outlet that I use for automation so it can tell when my Xbox is turned on. Next to my recliner, I have this computer, which I built a while ago and I've been trying to sell it. It has an RX 580, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a Ryzen 3 1200. There's also a couple terabytes of SSD storage in there. If you guys know me in real life, please buy this from me. It's $400. Then I have my light. This is my overhead light for when I'm reading in bed sometimes. It's actually a origami light. Each one of these is a plastic thing, and you put it together into a shape, and then there's just a light bulb that hangs inside of there. It's a LifeX 800 lumen, and then this is a disc plate. I have another couple over by my setup. I can actually control that light with Home Assistant. I have a little button right here, and that will turn it on and off. Along with this one will turn on every light in my room. And then here's my controller. It's just wall mounted with the 3D printed thing, and then 2 remotes. Now we're over at the last part of my setup, which is where I do all my homework, because I don't like using the school iPads. This is my laptop. It's got a Ryzen 5 5500. It's 16 gigs of RAM, and then I upgraded the SSD and the Wi-Fi card to 512 gigs, and then Wi-Fi 6. It's got a touch screen. It's actually a 2-in-1, and it has a pen that goes with it. It's pretty cool. Obviously, it has 8 CPUs, because that's very necessary. And then there's a monitor. That monitor is plugged into this DisplayLink docking station, which is just one cable over USB, because this laptop doesn't have DisplayPort. So that will just run some proprietary driver. Then right here is my Logitech Harmony remote. I just recently got this, but it will control both my TV and my Xbox at the same time. It's really handy, so I can just control everything with one remote. That just charges right here. There's a cat, another LIFX bulb in this thing, and then this is a light that I need to switch over to one of those monitor light bars. This screen right here is a $40 screen I got from an electronics recycler. And this keyboard I got renewed off Amazon for, I think it was $50. They accidentally sent me the Mac version, but it still works. And then this is my old mouse that I used to use at my computer. I lost the receiver for it, so it's only Bluetooth now. And then my calipers, which obviously for 3D modeling. There's also an iPad that I'm trying to set up with, and a Home Assistant dashboard. So that about wraps it up. I've got a lot of stuff in here, and later down the road I plan on doing some videos about the home automation that I have going on, more about my server, what I'm running on there. Also want to stream some more, possibly upload some more Beat Saber videos, so if you want to see some of that, just subscribe. Well, see ya. Maybe I'll get to that video later down this week.